When people talk about the GameCube, it's usually the same games every time. And look, some of those games deserve it, but this video ain't really about the same GameCube list everybody talks about. This is about the games that had me hooked as a kid. The ones I kept going back to, the ones I was obsessed with, and the ones that became a huge part of my GameCube memories. Some of them are big names, some of these are random, but every game on this list meant something to me. Let's talk about it. First up, we got Disney Sports Football. This pick really says a lot about the kind of kid I was, because when I was younger, I loved games where I already knew the characters. If I was watching something and saw it had a game, I was already interested in it. And that's just how it was for me with Cartoon Network stuff, and it was the same here with Disney. That's why I got into Kingdom Hearts in the first place. So when I saw Disney characters in a football game, yeah, I was very curious immediately, man. And the funny thing is that I'm not even the biggest football fan like that. My dad's a big football fan, so I would try to play football stuff for my dad, like Madden, NFL Street, Blitz. So this game caught my attention because it felt similar, but it also felt way more fun and way more me because it had Disney all over it. But the real reason I kept playing it was because of my cousins and my friends. Every weekend we would be battling on this game, and I'm competitive as hell, so if I lost, that bothered me. I always wanted to get better, I wanted to learn the game more, I wanted to win. So during the school week, I'd actually practice so I'd be ready for the weekend when it came. And that sounds pretty crazy now, but that's really how it was. And the game had a lot of charm. It was very fun to play. I loved the aesthetics of it. I loved the look of it. I loved how each character had their own team. I always loved using my boy Max. That was my squad. Max and his team were just too fun to play with, and the arenas were dope too. The whole game had personality. I think that's really why I remember it so much, because it wasn't just me sitting there casually messing around with a random sports game. It became part of our routine. School weeks, get ready, weekend comes, battle. My cousins try to improve, run it back again. That kind of stuff makes a game stick with you way more than if you just rent it once and forget about it. And that's why Disney Sports Football stayed with me. It wasn't just a random licensed game. This was a real weekend battle game for me. Like, we played this every week. And now I'd still love to own it again, but man, that price tag is wild, bro. Before I get on to the next one, give my boy Powerline a new album, man. I've been waiting, Disney, where you at? Next up is Gotcha Force. Man, I love this game. And when I say loved, I mean I loved this game. What pulled me in right away was the concept. You got these toy-like fighters battling each other in rooms and arenas. And to me, that was just cool as hell. I already liked stuff like Gundam and the movie Small Soldiers and Army Men. So a game built around this little fighters throwing down in bigger environments already had my attention. And once I actually got into it, I was all the way in. The arenas were fun, the music was great, collecting characters was addicting, editing your team was fun, the designs were just awesome. It had so much stuff going for it all at once. It wasn't just one thing carrying the game, it was the full package. What I really remember about Gotcha Force is how unique it felt. It didn't feel like anything else I was playing. It had its own style. It had its own energy, and even the battles felt kind of different for whatever reason. The gameplay just kept pulling me back in over and over and over. And back then it felt very rare too. It felt like one of those games that not everybody knew about, which honestly made it even more cool. It felt special, like you knew about it. You knew, and I always like games that had that kind of feeling, like where like not a lot of people know about it. It's kind of like, oh, this is a secret game nobody really talks about, nobody really plays. I also think part of it, why I say it in my head, is because it really felt like imagination turned into a video game. When you're a kid and you're already into like toys and robots and battle figures and stuff, all that kind of stuff, then you get a game that captures that energy almost perfectly, and that's hard to forget. It really felt like that kind of game you would have dreamed up as a kid. And that cover art though, I ain't gonna lie, it's hard, man. I love that cover art. That's why this game stands out so much to me, man. It felt creative and different, crazy addictive. It really felt like one of those hidden GameCube games. And man, when it got its claws into me, it really never let go, and I still love this game. And same thing with Disney Football, man. I would love if I could find this old game of mine, but I don't know if I just got rid of it or lost it, but I'd love to buy it again, but that price tag is pretty expensive. Next up, we got Pokemon Coliseum. This game honestly caught me off guard when I first played it. Back then, when I thought about console Pokemon, I was expecting something more like Pokemon Stadium. So when I jumped into Coliseum and saw what it actually was, it kind of threw me off at first. But the more I played it, the more I really liked it. And I liked that it was doing its own thing. The biggest thing that stood out for me was being able to snatch Pokemon from other trainers. I mean, that concept was so hard, man. I love that whole concept. That immediately made the game feel different. It had a lot more edge to it and kind of darker, and that's a big part of why I got really into it. Now, I know some people are probably going to hate this take, but I gotta be honest, starting with Umbreon and Espeon did not move me like that. I've never been some huge Eevee guy outside of the original 3, so for me, those two were not the big selling point. I honestly hated Umbreon and Espeon as my starters. I'm not a big fan of Eevee and the evolutions anyways, but yeah. What sold me was the rest of the game. Like, I love the character designs, I love the graphics, the story, and I really love the darker tone of it. And I've said this for a long time that Pokemon can feel a little too light sometimes, and that's part of why Digimon has always appealed to me way more, because it gets darker. So seeing Pokemon go into that direction really worked for me. And yes, I'm gonna say it, Digimon over Pokemon all day. I don't care if y'all get mad. And I definitely remember climbing Mount Battle and just going battle after battle after battle. I got so far into that mode that I remember thinking, man, does this thing ever end? And that's when you know a game really got you. Like, I don't even know if it has an ending now. I guess I could look it up, but like, I don't even know. But what makes Coliseum stand out even more to me is that it had that feeling of being familiar and different at the same time. I mean, it was still Pokemon, so I already had that connection to it, but the tone, the setting, the structure made it feel like something with its own identity. And that's a huge reason why it played in my mind more than a lot of other Pokemon stuff. Pokemon's Coliseum stuck with me because it felt different. It didn't feel like a normal Pokemon game. It felt darker and cooler. It felt way more memorable, and that's exactly why I kept coming back to it over and over and over, man. I put so many hours into this game, it's unreal. Next up, Beyblade Vforce. Now, this game already had an advantage with me because I was a huge Beyblade fan before I even played the game, and I already had the PS1 Beyblade game, so when I saw this on Gamecube, I was picking it up, no question. And that case goes so hard. I mean, that cover art looks amazing. What made it so fun was how much it felt like the anime, man. The battles, the bit beast, the animations, the energy. All of that really helped. It felt like you were getting to play out the kind of battles that made the show so cool. And that alone made it easy to get into for me. Then you add multiplayer on top of that, and yeah, it was over, bro. Bro, me and my cousins used to play this at sleepovers for hours. I mean, I'm talking all the way till daylight, way too many times. That game had a lot of fun to it, and when you've got a game like that with cousins and friends and where everybody's already into the show and everybody has their own Beyblade, it just hits even harder, man. I also really like the character selection. It had a really decent character selection for, like, you know, the era and the kind of game it was. I was really impressed with how many characters were in this game. And then the customization was a huge part of why we kept playing it, man. Messing with your Beyblade setup, trying different combinations, battling over and over made it really easy to just keep going and customizing it and trying to, like, make the best Beyblade you could. And if I had to criticize something about it, like, it wasn't some deep story game. It was more just throw it on and just start playing. But that worked so well for us because we didn't need a huge story. We wanted the battles, the anime feel, the customization, and then the multiplayer, man. And honestly, sometimes that's all the game needs. Not every game has to be this huge adventure with some deep plot. Sometimes all it needs to be is fun. And second you turn it on, that's exactly what this did for us. I mean, it was easy to jump into, fun with other people, hard to put down once everybody got into it, and for that, this game delivered. Next up, Super Smash Bros. Melee. Yeah, and don't lie, you already knew this was gonna be on here, man. At that point, I wasn't some amazing Smash player or anything, but that didn't matter. I still played the hell out of this game. I'm way better now, but back then I was not a great Smash player. And for whatever reason, I mained Link, which is funny to me because I wasn't even really into Zelda and I never played a Zelda game, but that was my character I chose. That or Mario. Most of my memories with Melee are with my cousins, obviously. We played a ton of multiplayer, we grinded unlockables, we did the targets, we did the home run. I kind of wish they'd bring the targets back. Talking to you, Switch Smash Ultimate. It was just one of those games that always got brought out when people were around, but the biggest memory I have with Melee is how ridiculous our matches would get. I mean, we would put Pokeballs only on the items, 999 lives, and those matches would go on forever. I mean forever. We're talking like 8-10 hours, just complete chaos the whole night, man, but it was fun. That's really why Melee took up so much of my time. It wasn't about playing some high level. It wasn't about, you know, competitive or whatever. It was just how much fun it was with other people. You can make rules as wild as you wanted. The game still worked, and I think that's why Melee lasted the way it did. It could be competitive if you you wanted that, but it could also just be pure nonsense and fun with family and friends and still be amazing. For me, it was definitely more on that chaos with cousins and stuff, but honestly, man, those are some of the best kinds of gaming memories I have, and that's what made it special for me. It was just pure multiplayer fun and chaos over and over again, and we just couldn't get enough of it. Last up is Mega Man Network Transmission. This is another very personal pick for me because I know this is not the first GameCube game people will usually think about or bring up, but I really like this game. I already loved Mega Man X. That's one of my favorite franchises of all time, and I don't know if any of y'all remember this, but Mega Man had a show tied to Network Transmission, so right away the game already has something going for it with me. I like the world, I like the characters, and I like the whole vibe of it. At the time, I didn't even know this series had a Game Boy Advance history behind it. I just knew I liked what I was playing. I thought the power-up chips were really cool. I liked the whole network idea. I liked how it still had that Mega Man charm while doing something a little different. It felt very fresh to me, felt very new. The game was definitely hard, but that honestly made me want to keep playing it more. Mega Man games usually have some challenge to them anyways, and I've always liked platform games, and I like difficulty, you know? I like when the game challenges me, and if anything, it made the game more addicting. Visually, I thought it looked really good too. I love the look of the game, so when you mix that challenge, the graphics, the Mega Man style, the fact that I already liked the show, yeah, I mean, it makes sense why I put so much time into it. I think another reason why it stuck with me is because it felt a little different from what I was already used to with Mega Man. Like, it still had things I liked about the franchise, but the network angle and the chips gave it its own flavor. So it wasn't just me liking it because it said Mega Man on the cover. It actually felt unique enough to stand on its own. It was hard, it looked good, it kept pulling me back in, and I just was addicted to like playing it. I don't know why, it was just fun. So those are the GameCube games I spent the most time with, and what I like about this list is it really feels like my GameCube experience. Yeah, I mean, Melee is on here, but then you've also got games like Disney Sports Football, Gotcha Force, Beyblade, games that might not be on everybody's list but meant a lot to me growing up. That's part of what made my GameCube memories so special to me. Everybody remembers the big classics, but everybody also had those own personal games they were hooked on. So let me know what GameCube games y'all were hooked on and y'all kept going back to over and over. Until then, peace.